The first time I read the script, I got through 10 pages and I was by myself in my apartment and I put it down because I was too scared to keep reading.
I read it like Alice in Wonderland meets Dante's Inferno.
I read it, I think, a week later in the afternoon in the sun, and that's how I got through it. But that's what attracted me to the piece as well, because it was definitely a page turner and it was something that freaked me out.
When I first read the script, I was riveted. It's a spectacular piece. There's so much to it, so many levels, so many complexities, and so many wonderful themes that are permeating throughout.
She's a child! She's just a child!
It was quite scary. I just thought, wow, who's thought of this? How did they get these ideas?
My first experience of Silent Hill was 5 years ago, and I play on PlayStation 1, Silent Hill 1. And I remember I was something like 3 or 4 hours into the game when I realized that I was playing a game which was completely unique, absolutely frightening, and basically one of the few games that actually could become a movie.
Hey!
Cut! I have produced the 3 movies of Christophe, and on the set of our last movie, he told me, you know, I'm playing to a video game called Silent Hill. It's fantastic, it's scary. And like everybody, he said, really? Is it possible to be frightened by a game? And I said, yeah, and it's one of the most absolute fear I ever experienced in my whole life. That's maybe the first game that we can say it was mature. It was conceptualized in a very mature way.
Your sins were chosen here.
So then it was an adventure because, you know, we had to go convince the Japanese people that produced the game, Konami, to give us the right to make the movie. And the only things that make the difference is the vision of Christophe.
And action!
They were anxious about the level of faith that a director will bring to an eventual adaptation, because that game has such a cult following.
The fan base for Silent Hill is very, very protective of the game. So we've been very careful to listen to the fans and to maintain the suspense and the areas that they really feel strongly about, like the means of illumination in the darkness and certain key characters and antagonists, so to speak.
He has a very surrealist sort of vision of the game, and the game itself sort of explores the boundaries of reality, and that's what the film does.
The game of Silent Hill is an experience.
Silent Hill exists by itself. It has no equivalent. It's something frightening, it's something disturbing, it's something very beautiful. It's not only about fear, it's about emotion. There is not so many games that make you cry.
Stop this! She's just a little girl! Weep not for the demon!
I never adapted a game before, and I realized when I was doing that it was completely different. When you're adapting a game, you're adapting something that actually you have lived for real. You have the feeling to have been there and bring back some truth about what was the experience to face that adventure.
And the story is basically a background. And what was important in the idea to do a movie is bring back in the foreground that background story. So that was the most important challenge.
Rose!
When Christophe was setting out to make this film, he and Sammy called me up. And so I came in and next thing I knew, it was, you know, what if we were to do this? And Christophe was, you know, what if we reinvented the wheel? And such began, you know, a multi-month process of hammering out a first draft. Whenever I approach anything to adapt, you have to be willing to completely disassemble it and to create something new. The one element that you must remain true to is the spirit of the material. If you're not true to the spirit of the material, then you've completely lost.
Every gamer that plays this video game at home in the dark, I think will enjoy being in this theater in the dark again, having the same feeling and the same approach.
The other thing we strive to do is to make it logical on a level that those who have no idea what the game is about will understand and appreciate the suspense, horrific moments, and the plotline.
Sean!
I see her! She's there!
We wanted to create something that derived elements from the Silent Hill games and the Silent Hill universe, but was a bit of a creature on its own. Christoph, on one hand, remained profoundly true to the source material, and I remained as true as any human could attempt to the spirit of the material. In fact, we would sit around with the game during the writing of the movie. We would, more than anything, study how the camera moved as it travels through the game. We kept a number of elements from the game and created sort of a composite.
These games are very frightening because the characters are very emotional and basically they are very vulnerable. The characters in the game are one dimension. And it's not a problem because a game is like an experience where you have to face iconic characters. For example, there is a character named Dahlia. If we want to transpose her on the paper, we understand that she has not enough depth for an actor or for an actress. We decide to make her much more gray than black. And that's what we try to do with the different characters of Silent Hill. When you have to invite the audience to follow you into a crazy world, it's good that you make it through a very simple motive, like the love of a woman for a kid.
Hey, Sharon! Sharon!
Christoph has reworked the idea and making it a woman searching for her daughter.
The main theme of the film is motherhood. Who's a good mother? Who's a bad mother?
It's okay, baby. Everything's gonna be okay.
The lead character of Silent Hill 1 is a man named Harry Mason.
And he worked very well in the game, but when we start to write him, respecting his personality, we found that it's a woman. I don't think that it's important if the main character is wearing a dress or a pants. What is important is that we'll preserve the atmosphere of the game, which is the most important thing.
So we decide that Harry Mason will become Rose. Sometimes the fan can be shocked to hear that, because they know so well Silent Hill through the game. But I'm myself a gamer, I'm a true follower of the Silent Hill mythology, and a game is a game, and a film is a film.